Hello there. Get my sound on. Welcome to a tribute to the Great Ash, or the Great White Ash as I like to call it. This is another impromptu kind of walk, so I'm not sure how many people will show up, but anyway, this will remain online for those who want to enjoy it. I thought I'd come out and do this. I posted a couple of days ago about the loss of this beautiful ash tree that I spend a lot of time with, as do many people, and I posted pictures of it in full leaf, very happy with people sat beneath it, and it was great to just to enjoy the tree in that, and remember it in that state for a while. So now I'm gonna sing a song to the ash tree and show you around a bit. I'll show you around a bit first. Just give you a proper impression of what's going on here. Let me just switch my camera around, sorry. This is what remains of the trunk of the tree. You can see it's really deteriorated. This was one of the larger ash trees that we had around, and it hadn't been pollarded, at least not recently. You can see it was completely deteriorated in there. At the front there was a large bracket fungus, and this was the only part of the tree really that was still supported to any extent, but even this wood in here is starting to rot. So not a lot here was holding up this down here. Trees when they're fallen like that look so undignified. It's like seeing a beached whale. It's really, it's a sad thing. Hello everybody, thanks for joining. It's good to see you. Hope you can hear me. It's very blowy out here again. I'm just doing a little tribute to the Great White Ash. It's a native ash tree. I call it the White Ash because of the lovely colouring on its bark, on its main trunk. Really white, a lot whiter than a lot of other trees. There is an actual, there's a white ash, I think, from America, but this is not one of those. This is fondly named the Great White Ash, and you can see the remainder of the trunk here, just this part still remaining. Placed precariously on a bank. So the bank, just to orientate you a bit, there's one of the Great White Ash tree's companions on the horizon there. If I walk up here, there's a lovely little surprise as we walk up this bank. Wait for it. There's the tor peeking out. It's a beautiful view, that, isn't it? And that's more towards the south down there, and then towards the east over here. And so this is a place that I walk regularly, this field, and it's full of these humps, which are ant hills. So yeah, I got a little distracted. Back to the Great White Ash. I will keep this, light-hearted. It's really sad, and I had to take a good run up on this live, so it's quite emotional, quite emotional. Go down and see the remainder of the actual body of the tree. So these these branches that are sticking out of here, notice that they fold down to the base of the trunk. So these were basically folding back onto the floor on the top of the hill here behind the tree, and it was basically leaning against the hill. That was the only real reason why it was standing. This branch here and this one here hit the ground and then rose back into the sky and had leaves on the end. These branches were winding and snake-like and all-encompassing, and it was one of the most joyful trees to sit beneath for that reason. So this has just cracked off of here, fallen all the way down the bank, boom, landed in here. Looking around in the branches on the other side of the fence here, there's a hole about 2 foot deep where the main trunk has hit the ground, and we can just see lots of broken branches in here. A lot of the main branches were also with a little bit of structural issue, so some rot in them, and it's a good 3 meter girth at its waist, this tree. And it filled a massive space in this landscape. This whole hillside was covered by it. It's lost limbs previously, so these were old limbs that were cut off or fallen off previously. One of those hit an ash tree that was down here once and toppled it, and I gather that ash tree and that ash tree there are probably the offspring of this, the great white ash on the top here. And so we can actually see now the bottom, the base, the underside of the trunk of the tree, and the extent of wear and tear in there. And the closer we get, there are worlds in here, like worlds inside of worlds, like little maps, like really bird's eye view. This little river of, I'm not quite sure, but it joins to this fungus, and it runs all the way through. And in some cases it's not clear whether you're looking at like a rock face, there, that's like a cave, like a cavern, and this is rock. It does strange things to perspective, that. All the different textures in there. Like honeycombed. So, sad as it is, it was only a matter of time before this tree came down. And I'm glad that I got to spend so much good time with it. And to spend time with other people here as well. See this side of the trunk here, this big area of bark stripped off is still on the main trunk up there. It's that bit. So you can kind of get an idea for how it's snapped off and rolled. I'd have loved to have, it's pretty dark, but I'd have loved to have seen it fall, just to see, wow, just to hear it, and it would have been incredible. So, let me sit, take a seat. I'll give you a little song. It's pretty cold and blowy, so I'm not going to go have this last on for too long. But look, more caves in here. I find this is fascinating to me. I don't know how much it interests you guys, but to see the inside of a tree like that is incredible. This was an old one that came off a few years back, this limb. It's been there for a while. Let's see, let me switch around the camera and pop that there. So earlier on today we had a tree identification workshop on Bushy Coombe, and that was great. There were 4 of us, and we learned to identify the beech, the ash and the oak, and we also looked at lime, the linden, and maples as well. It was great fun, and there's another one of those on the 26th of March. Blimey, March already, yeah. So in this tribute to the great white ash, thank you for joining me, everybody. I can't quite see who's with us at the moment, but thank you for joining this tribute to the great white ash tree that fell in last week's storms. And this song is called To the Trees, or Old Wind Blowing, which I thought would be an apt song for this situation. With my eyes upon the distance and my feet upon the road, my mind shows no resistance, my body knows, my heart drifts on the ocean, my breath upon the air, and my paws walk towards the forest, and I wait there. Feel the earth and your body is one, light the fire in darkness, burn and drink the water, quench your thirst, you're an old wind blowing. And while the wind blows with persistence, and my will begins to grow, yes, with some insistence, my body knows, my heart drifts on the ocean, my breath upon the air, and my paws walk towards the forest, and I wait there. Feel the earth, try that again. Feel the earth and your body is one, light the fire in darkness, burn and drink the water, quench your thirst, you're an old wind blowing. Feel the earth and your body is one, light the fire in darkness, burn and drink the water, quench your thirst, you're an old wind blowing, you're an old wind blowing, you're an old wind blowing. flowing, and I wait there. Okay, yes, that was a song called To the Trees, or Old Wind Blowing. That's a song dedicated to the great white ash tree. So I'm not sure like what the future holds for this, the remainder of the tree here and the stump here. I'd quite like to get in down there and find a piece of wood suitable for a staff, although it's quite a wiggly tree, so there are very few straight poles. I know that in other places they've left the tree around and about to make habitat for creatures and things to live in. I think that should probably be the plan, but this is National Trust land, so I understand, so it's up to them what they do. And I know in other places as well they've left trees and the stumps and sculpted, not that there's much to sculpt here, but I'm sure some creative person could probably work something out of what remains. Those would be nice things. I have a poem, not my poem, it was posted by the Woodland Bard, I think, on Facebook, and the poem is by John Clare, and I think it's quite an apt poem for this situation. The name of the poem I don't have, unfortunately. Here goes. How oft a summer shower have started me to seek for shelter in an old tree. Old huge ash, dotterel wasted to a shell, whose vigorous heads still grew and flourished well, where 10 might sit upon the battered floor and still look round, discovering room for more. There's dots at the end, so I gather that the poem might continue, or that might be it, but either way, just those 6 lines are a beautiful tribute in this situation, I think. So yeah, thanks John Clare, thanks to the Woodland Bard, I think it was the Woodland Bard on Facebook for sharing that. Yeah, okay. I'm not quite ready to finish this yet, so let's go for a little wander. Maybe we can go round and okay, let's try this.